from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Good morning and good to have your company here this very morning on Good Morning Uganda Extra. And thank you for sticking around, and we are glad to be having you as our viewer today. Well, in our Good Morning Uganda Extra today, we are going to have a conversation, myself and Robert Chirabunyo-Nyintono, on matters to do with the growing online fraud in Uganda. It has opened up huge conversations over the years on how to secure ourselves while we're upgrading to the online transactions or upgrading to online to the e-economy as much as we are seeing. Well, during the COVID-19 pandemic, if we are to remember so well, many of the transactions Ugandans were making were cashless transactions where you could not see someone paying things with tangible cash or hard cash. We would definitely be paying for services simply because of the fact that we could not move far enough, and we could only transact online, meaning you had to pay using online platforms, you had to pay using mobile money. And of course, the trend has kept on moving. But even before the COVID-19 pandemic, you get to realize that there were so many cases of online fraud that were being reported to the different crime intelligence directorates within the country. And at the same time, you get to realize that many Ugandans have fallen prey to the same fraudsters over the years, not only in the banking sector, not only on mobile money, but even with the ever-growing online loaning apps in the country today. This is a conversation we are going to be having, and of course to see how far, from his journalistic point of view, Robert Chirabo, if he has been able to work on some of these stories and what is definitely causing some of this at the end of it all. But on the same time, we will be building up to a new report coming in from the Uganda Microfinance Regulatory Authority, which is probing 800 plus online loan fraud cases. And the recent report shows that Busoga region has been the most affected of this particular fraud coming in from the online loan lending apps. Robert, good morning.
Happy to be with you on set again, Sonko, and as we discuss something very important to Ugandans. You know, you can never be sure when you'll be a victim.
Yes.
But information is power. When you have the right information, you can be able to protect yourself against such fraudsters. Now, first and foremost, you'll find that 90% of online fraud cases are a result of people wanting quick things. Quick things. Because most of these sometimes the deals are so good to be true. So good to be true. Look at that report by the microfinance, that when someone knows that you can get a loan in a twinkle of an eye with no security at all except your national ID and a photocopy of it, you take a picture of your national ID, it is quick. But one doesn't ask themselves, he who is making it this quick, what assurance do they have that I will pay? If they are giving me 60,000 Sonko, and I'm supposed to return 100,000, if I don't give this money back, what investment are they going to put to recover their 60? Isn't this investment going to be far much higher than what they gave me? Now, if you're in business, is this practicable? Is this a business you can do? That you can give out money very fast And if you need to recover that money, it is going to cost you almost ×2 of what you put in. Logically, that doesn't apply. Now, when you go to our brothers and sisters that have lost money, where someone goes in your email, Sonko, says, "Hi Sonko, you're my OB, it's been a long time, I may not remember me, but after doing some good research, you know, Ugandans also have a problem. We give so much information on our social media platforms. And sometimes it is inevitable. When you go to your Twitter handle, your X app, I'll know who is Sonko. I may know even what you like. If I have your TikTok page, I'll know your wife, where they work from. I may even get to know the name of your children. You get it? So I can use any of that information you've given me to show that I know you very well. You've just forgotten. I'll know the schools you went to. We were together in St. Mary's, Chitende. This year, don't you remember, you were our GRC, you are representative, class representative, you were this. So someone gives you information that tactfully you gave to them, unknowingly. Now, they bring a deal so sweet to you. I have here in Boston, I have these people, they are coming for holidays. I want you to book them, take them around. I know you'll save like a 20M. But out of the 20, just give my mother 3M. Because they have been my bosses. Now Sonko looks at how much he's going to save along the way. Someone may even send you some 1M. Now let that help do this. Because they have seen you work at UBIS, you have the potential for what they're investing in. Then after some time, these visas have delayed this now. We have charges. First look for 3M. 3M, you wire it because it's online business. Then another time, no, Sonko, everything has been finished. I don't know. You've booked hotels, but you have this. I've topped this money. Only send another 4M. Now, by the time you wake up and say, but this may not be a good deal. It seems these people are just... This get-rich syndrome, this shortcut syndrome.
Because I wanted to ask Chirabo, you know, when we're looking at all these cases rising, what do you think is the problem? Is it lack of, you know, enough information about things that are happening in the country, or is it the desperation to get quick money?
Desperation to get quick money is one, but also lack of information is also very important. But key is that quick, get rich quick, and that's this is not about poverty. Because Sonko, I know many people who've been fleeced. You've not participated in a draw. You receive a message, you have won.
Things like lottery and
yes,
like.
you have won 100 million from this. But Sonko, willingly, you know you've not participated.
But you've received that message.
You've received that message. Then they tell you, do this, do this, do this to get
win.
that money. We process, and you do that. But you know
deeply on the inside that I don't deserve that money.
yes. Or you may be, you're sure someone else did participate. You're going to steal what doesn't belong to you. One time, there was a scandal when the oil industry was starting in Uganda, exploration. Of course, we are not yet there. We expect our first oil come 2025, which is not very far from us. We are in 2024, soon coming to the end of 2024. But I want to tell you, there were many members of parliament here who were fleeced monies by people who are pretending that the machines they have installed there have gotten problems. By then, I remember Smeo Nsubuga was the spokesperson. Was it Smeo Nsubuga? It could be he who came after Smeo. Members of parliament, woo, including one who was a leader of opposition by that time. These guys would come, Honorable, we are the people in the oil industry, but the problem is the machine has broken down. Now we want you to be a mediator, pretend that I know where to get the machines in Astro area, but you see, I can't because I work. Your commission is like 200 million because they're expensive. They fleeced MPs. Files and files were at CPS here. Now, this person knew very well that this money you're going to get as commission, you would have saved it for us to know you are these machines. So most of the times, these people put a sweet deal to you on your email, on your phone as a message, but also because you have a criminality. You may not be a criminal, but when you look at it, you've not participated in any raffle, but you've won. Think about that. People are coming. This one is telling you, I processed my things, they are coming in, I've sent 12 laptops, this, that, you know. But what you can do, go, you do that, I'll find you here, I'm dodging tax. Like, there's always something funny about it that is not straight. And many Ugandans, from that day we got this word called deal, D-E-A-L. I don't know where that came from, but it has caused a lot of problems to many Ugandans. Ina diru jengoba. No, mu Uganda okutula kidiru kimu. Someone becomes rich instantly. Say akubiye diru. What is diru song? Oyo dira.
It is the commonest word in Kampala lately.
Oyo dira.
I have a burning deal. Which deal? You come.
Chirabo na deal, come we go. There is this deal. I don't know the definition of deal. Most so in your generation.
Coming to an understanding and an agreement that it is a
know,
win-win
someone
for the both
tells
of us.
You, I mean, you find deal. You ask yourself, okay, how are you planning? Because wealth is planned. And at the end of the month, when I get my salary, I'm in a saving group where every month I've been giving this. At the end of the year, I expect to get this amount of money. I go in the village, I buy this land. This is, you have a plan for wealth. But wealth that comes like man from heaven in the days of the Egyptians in the desert is the wealth that people are being fleeced. That sonko, you wake up one day, you need money, and you go to your phone. You're on something else, then something pops up. Quick money, quick loan. You have no plan for this money? Give in details, then later to know, now those were not the original people. These were fraudsters, and they have taken a lot of your money. So the deal issue, the get quick syndrome, when you go to police every day, online fraud is what is leading. Anything you get on your email, anything you get on your Facebook, anything you get on X, anything you get on your cell phone, if you do not have that thinking that no, get rich syndrome is something that I don't want to adopt to.
Robert, let's look at some of the most common tactics. You've shared some of those sending you messages, but there are also some tactics that we've always been seeing. You're home, you're doing your own thing, someone calls your phone and asks you where you are and reminds you of how you've won 200 million, and they also want you to input your PIN. Let's look into some of these tactics. And many Ugandans have found themselves falling prey. Luckily, many these days are so informed and are very aware of the tactics of some of these fraudsters, and they are no longer falling prey. But this has taken some time, and it has also left others without money on their accounts.
The most common, although now many Ugandans have gotten used to it, is when you receive a message on your phone that someone has sent money accidentally to your phone.
Meaning you have to refund.
Then something comes like about 1M sent to your phone. Now, usually these fraudsters, if they don't use the game of luck, they have someone who knows about you.
Who knows the transactions you make?
Either that mobile money agent you've gone to, because they have access to your number. An investigation has shown that many of these fraudsters even pay those people for contacts of potential victims.
So that they share some.
They'll tell you, no, this man, every Saturday, he withdraws
this amount of money.
He deposits this amount of money. So that you know how your account flows. And it is very bad. Many of us, you have that particular person. Sometimes amanyine pinio. Nterako akakadde. Nterako obubiri. You stay at the comfort of your car, give that person your phone, go and withdraw for me. You know, we've become bossy. We've become lazy as well. So it's very comfortable for me to associate with one person that even when I'm home, I can call Priscilla, put for me 1M, just later. So these people know your flow. Now they will communicate, and someone will know Sonko at around 5 p.m. I deposited 3 million. So 5 maybe, but by around 11, Sonko still has money. So if we send this message of 1M, yet he took maybe 3M, and then after I call my mother, she's going for surgery, tulimudwai, or some even crying there, Mama mwangu, yeta. Sonko will not think twice, but because he's a man of integrity, he's a public figure, he will just send that money. Only later to check after sending that actually it is what he had that has gone and nothing else remains. The issue of winning, you have won, but for you to do this, send this. Now when this lady won a double cabin, when she was gifted because she participated in any raffle, this woman on Entebbe Road has been selling fruits and what. Now that success, you don't know how many people. We are from this company, someone has come to us, you had working, but
Who have
decided
tried to jump on that bus.
who have tried to jump on that bus. Now I want to give you a car, I want to give you a sewing machine. They look at how best, like recently we did it for so and so. But what you're going to do, you're going to first do this. Pay a quota to prove you'll be able to maintain and all that on this number. Then we shall process. Many are going to be fleeced on that. Now, also the tourism thing I talked about. Tourists are coming in. You know? Then another and the most common is when they steal your phone. Your phone is stolen, they check in the phone book. They look at Robert Workmate, Daddy, Auntie, my love, Obiso, they call. Hello, do you know this person? He's had an accident here. We've rushed him to Nsambia Hospital. He's in a very sorry state. And we need this money. He must go to theater now. Save a friend, you're the last person maybe he has talked to. You're calling the number, it's out of service. Now Sonko, Ochirabo, when I hear that Sonko has been hit and to save his life, first thing is saving Sonko.
And you're like, let me rush and do this.
I'll rush and wire. If it is on my phone, I'll just wire that money to you, to them. Only later, I'm moving to see Sonko. So, when they have almost people in your contacts, after you make a replacement, you begin getting calls. And they're all telling you, we've had you in hospital. So, there are very many forms. Now there is another one that has come during school fees. They know that school where your child goes to, they send you a message. Why struggle with a line in the bank? Remember, many schools now give us codes of how you can pay. Your child's code has been changed to this. All this week, those have been running, the previous week. Don't line in the bank. Your child's code for paying school fees is this. Please pay, the earlier the better for us to process. Now a parent says, I don't go to the bank. Because you've been used to doing things using mobile money, then you're paying. And guess what is happening? Only to see you're not getting the feedback message you've been getting. They have taken school fees. It is taken. Others, the fraud in Busoga.
Yeah.
They develop these small apps, but they know the other genuine ones. Now they'll tell you, for us, we give up to this amount of money. Show commitment. Hey, you get show commitment. They use that as show commitment. Now commitment, they'll tell you, if you want 1 million, commitment is 100. Now you pay 100. For us, we don't need anything, your number is enough. They do that to 100 people, that is how much? And it goes on. So every day, these were advancing. Every day you develop, you understand one, you discover one, they advance into something else. Then there's also your mobile money line has been blocked, this to unblock and all this for you to place these codes. Now, when you put them, you're commanding and giving them ability to withdraw and transfer whatever is on your account to their number.
Okay. And let's look at some of these statistics here, because according to reports, some of the reports is that attempted scams are common, with about 47% of respondents having experienced attempted scams or instances of attempted fraud since March 2020. Now, this is when we were even at the peak of when COVID-19 had already picked up, and we were heading into those 2 years of, you know, lockdown. Then also, there was a low resolution rate. Only 40% of customers experiencing financial loss have come out to complain that they had issues resolved. Meaning, once someone has been fleeced of their money, or they have lost money to fraudsters, chances are very high that no one is going to be, you know, no one is going to recover their money. Now, also cybercrime has been increasing in the country, because when you look at the general increase in cybercrime, there were 256 cases that were reported to police in 2020. Now, as of by 2022, that is a year and a half, 286 cases were reported in regards to cybercrime. And now financial loss, 19 billion shillings was lost in cyber fraud in Uganda in 2022. Then consumer fraud, Uganda has the highest levels of consumer fraud in mobile money amongst countries surveyed in Africa and Asia. Now let's look into this, Robert, before we even go into a break. Mobile money uptake. I think almost the majority of phone users today have, or let's say 90%, I should say. And these are not factual statistics, but rather off-head statistics in regards to this conversation we are having. When you look at the phone users, we could just roughly say 90% or the majority of phone users are having mobile money accounts with them. And here we have very many fraudsters tapping into mobile money accounts. And we've also seen fraudsters tapping into mobile banking apps to take away money of those owning these accounts. In regards to cyber safety, what aren't we doing right as Ugandans owning these mobile accounts?
First, privacy is something we have failed to understand and do. Many people, their PIN is not a secret.
It's for everybody. Oh, it's not as a strong PIN as we might
Not about
expect.
being a strong PIN. The other, yes, you have an element. It's predictable. Sonko, born in 1992.
So someone can easily know that
The
maybe
PIN
that
is 1992.
that's your birthday, that's your birth year. So it automatically clicks.
You know, Uganda's PIN, people, the PINs they have, call it their phone, call it their email address. They are very predictable.
Because those are the only pins that you can easily remember.
Many of them are very predictable. That I can just look. You find someone and you're like, no, I can't even guess your PIN, and you have it right, and they'll think you're a prophet or something like that. They are very predictable, but also there is so much disclosure. So are you aware? And you should ask people, you know, when it comes to mobile money, how do you drive and park the mobile money agent and you feel it's stylish doing this? So this is your phone, then you're like, sente. In your Mercedes, you're very comfortable. How much is this person removing? 2, 3? Then they wrap it for you, then they bring and give you your phone back. Then you drive off. You send your housemaid. Candles, we don't have this. Hey, I think I have like a 20K here. Go with my phone. Anti pini yangu ojimanyi. you know. Your housemate who can talk literally to anyone and even boast about it.
That I have my boss's PIN.
Yes. Look at our ATMs. Someone can tell you, that is, PIN is this, go and remove the what? The money. So we don't protect PINs because that is one of the safeguards that this technology has. Your secret PIN number, we don't protect them. Then where we've protected them are things like passwords or what. They are very easy for someone to think around and get to understand what exactly it is. I think the only person whom I found with a password I never thought, this person had Uganda's independence, 1962. And he was like a young boy. And I'm like, even if I were to guess, where would this come in?
You wouldn't think of it,
Yes.
especially when it comes to the owner of the phone. Now, when we do return after the break, we shall have a conversation on the regulation. Who's responsible for what? Who is also responsible for the regulative bit of things? Who's supposed to be responsible for any sort of cyber crime? Who is supposed to respond to a given case in regards to online fraud here in the country, because we have different government agencies and bodies responsible for specific duties and responsibilities in order to ensure that there is a safe space for any person making online transactions. And of course, we also need to know what is the role of the banks themselves in regards to safeguarding you as a banker using these online banking apps. Now, on the side of the regulators, we need to also ask the question, are they doing enough or not? That is a conversation we are having after the break. Be part of it and stick around. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Once upon a time, there lived identical twins who gave birth to beautiful princes and princesses.
Their mothers gave their babies' bodies a lot of care by applying on their skin with baby Junior jelly.
Though dried their chariots and everyone would admire their glowing skin. Fun fact, baby Junior prevents diaper rash, dry and sensitive
Moms
skin.
all over Africa love baby Junior jelly. Baby Junior's the skin. No more worries anymore. Boo, 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 boo. Baby Junior.
Baby Junior.
Juko.
Yo.
What you go? Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda wange, haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Maskari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
We'll be back from the break, and our conversation now continues to the issue to do with regulation. Let me just give you a simple breakdown here of who is responsible for what regulation. Because when it comes to mobile money, that is mobile money transactions and mobile money and how mobile money works in the country, that is Airtel Money, MTN, Momo, and the other platforms as well. With mobile money, the Bank of Uganda, as the central bank, is responsible for providing banks and non-bank financial institutions these regulations, because they are the central bank and they are the overall watchdog of everything, followed by the Uganda Communications Commission, simply because they regulate the mobile money network operators that provide the mobile money services. Now, that said, there is the National Information Technology Authority, or NITA Uganda, NITA-U, which ensures compliance with IT standards and cybersecurity requirements for any mobile money transaction, as well as the mobile money companies. Now, when it comes to the Uganda Microfinance Regulatory Authority, this one regulates mobile money services provided by microfinance institutions. And there is the Financial Intelligence Authority, the FIA, which monitors mobile money transactions for anti-money laundering and combating the financing of terrorism. And then there are key regulations, that is the National Payment Systems Act of 2019. There is the Financial Institutions Act of 2004. There is the Anti-Money Laundering Act 2013. Then there is the Electronic Transactions Act 2011. And then there is the Data Protection and Privacy Act 2019. That is from the side of the law. Now, that said, one may wonder who regulates the money lenders and financial institutions. Now, this is the role of the Uganda Microfinance Regulatory Authority, which is responsible for supervising microfinance institutions and money lenders in Uganda, including the online money lending apps. And of course, with the just recent reports coming in from the Uganda Microfinance Regulatory Authority, they further warned against getting loans from the online lending apps who do not have licenses, because Uganda Microfinance Regulatory Authority licenses all the money lenders in the country, and most of them fall under the Tier 4 of most of these online money lenders fall under Tier 4, meaning if they do not have a license and an operating office for the headquarters, you should not be getting the loans there. However, many Ugandans continue to play a deaf ear, or maybe others don't know any information about the same. Robert, when you look at the regulations here, have we failed short? Because we have the law, we have government regulators that push these laws forward, but again, the cases are instead increasing.
Now, first we must understand that when someone is vulnerable,
okay,
and from vulnerability becomes a victim, their ability usually to pursue justice is limited.
Okay. I love your choice of words there.
Someone is vulnerable in the first place.
It's like they need help, they are badly
They
off.
need help. Now you tell them, or they get to know that there is help somewhere.
They will definitely rush to it,
Now,
regardless of the consequences.
knowing that even where they sought help, they have instead been sunk deeper. When you tell them that now, no, let's pursue justice, they don't see sense in that. Sonko, have already spent money, have been fleeced. Now you're telling me to spend more money to get justice. What is the rationale that I'll spend that money? Abafere ekibatunze mu Uganda. These fraudsters know it. That sometimes they have ripped you naked. You've remained with nothing. All these institutions, and I thank our government for having them in place, but they have one weakness. That even when you go in there, I think they don't have a budget to help victims pursue justice. Go to police when it's about mobile money. They are going to tell you we need to track this person. Not so. Tracking is not free of charge. Because they will tell you, okay, this is the number. They will take you to all the experts now. This is electronic fraud department. You know, they have offices. This one is in charge of electronic fraud. This one is in charge of this theft. This one, they take you to that office. Your name, tell us what happened, tribe. I don't even know why they are still using tribe. Then from there, they begin now, okay, we need to do this, we need this, we need this. Now, you need money to do that. You need money to transport these people. Now we are going. At the end of the day, this person says, I accept I lost. I accept.
You lost.
I lost. Let me leave it at that. So these suspects, all the committers of this crime, know it very well. Know it very well. That if it's through mobile money, they'll tell you which number did you send to. Do you know the person? I don't know the person. Now we need to go. Get their call records, do this, do that. Now here it's going to require me to swear an affidavit. Here it's going to require me to do this. There is so much. How much, sir, at the end of the day? First get 200. Now if they took my 100K, I get 200. And I'm not sure what I'm giving is the last amount. Then they will tell you now it was this number seen in Ginger, now it was seen here. So at the end of the day, we lack, I think, enough technology to use the same means to be able to track these people and bring them to book. So the victims end up failing to pursue justice because of the complicity, the complications, the costs, and sometimes the time. And I want to tell you, in all forms of fraud we are talking about, it is only -1 that the suspects are arrested. The actual people are arrested. Most of the times, those that commit these offenses are never brought to book, no matter how much you invest. It's like phone tracking. Sometimes it's like gambling. They have stolen your phone. So I say, well, there are those now that even change, but let's put some money, we get the print out, we do this, we do that. So that is where the problem is.
But you see, Robert...
all these borders you've talked about,
because...
are they going to facilitate a report?
You know, Robert, let's look at the magnitude of, you know, what is at stake with online fraud. Because we have been pushing for a cashless economy for the past 3 years, because now the entire globe is now focusing on a cashless economy.
Yes.
Simply because some companies are putting up more platforms where you can easily send money to transact, send money to purchase, or even clear bill, or let's say pay.
And it limits so much that guise of corruption where there is no face-to-face interaction.
Exactly. So you're just paying for a service without seeing, there is no you know, broker, or there is no middleman in the entire process of transacting anything. But you've mentioned something to do with the fraudsters being up to their game in regards to adopting new skills of always stealing money of online platforms, that you're wiring the money, because this is not hard cash that you can even see it, but it's a transaction that someone taps in and takes off your money. Have we put up enough facilities in Uganda, let's say from the side of the Uganda police, on the side of the regulators, to ensure that people are not losing this money? Because as much as these cases are rising, you want to have preventive measures where if the fraudsters have upped their game, then you expect our authorities to also make sure that they have the facilities to upbeat what the fraudsters are doing.
Well, first, when you look at the regulator, the various regulators, first and foremost, you had the word license.
Yes.
These licenses are not given for free.
True.
These companies, these people pay for this license. Now, first, their most interest would be the licensing bit of it. It has a financial implication to that. But also, when they go to regulating, you see, a regulator must interest themselves and see, are you still doing things as agreed? Or as they should be? Their money is given to them to monitor, to supervise, to be on the lookout and see is minimal in their budgets. Or if it's sufficient enough to some of them, they're not doing it. I think the most active has been is either financial authority monitoring, where they can look, they monitor.
Financial Intelligence Authority.
Yeah, the Financial Intelligence Authority. I think that has been a bit vocal, because for it to look at a mark on your account.
No, because these ones are also monitoring money laundering. So
yes,
they want to know where are you getting this
huh,
money
then
from.
when, I remember when a 50 hit, then you can't withdraw. You know, why? Because explain the source of this money. They'll retain it for some time. And if you're unlucky, even if the right causes come, you may have to look for other ways of seeing that that money is released to you, of which some smart people still will find a way of taking a percentage from you. Because there are things that have happened. Now, you see, a regulator must be able to follow even your day-to-day activities.
Transactions, that's it.
Transactions, even how you operate these small companies, must be able to detect that there is something wrong here. Many of these are not licensed, that are fleecing people. Now, when you tell someone, if you're going to deal in a microfinance, look for the license, look for this, people are desperate. They're not going to be able to look out for this. But you as a regulator, how often do you carry out operations in your systems to see who are those that are working without proper requirements for them to work, that could be potential criminals in that way? Or are we, after saying, fine, we have the licenses, we are giving out the license. Once we give you a license, how you operate is not very much of our concern. That is also another problem. That these bodies, good, they do a tremendous job if they can focus on ensuring that really they regulate. You know, white elephants are dangerous. But also you may not blame some of these when they are budgets. If you scrutinize them, they cannot enable them to do so much, and actually they are doing so much compared to what they are given to do. Yes.
And when you want to look at how heavy this is for a conversation and what is at stake, is that a total of 19.2 billion Ugandan shillings was stolen in cybercrime. That was in 2022. Now in 2023, which is last year, over 245 cases were reported to police countrywide, bringing a 5 billion loss. Now, when you look at the magnitude of that, it clearly shows you that the cases are rising, and we have to up our games in there. Now, when we look at the minimum capital requirements for microfinance institutions, the Tier 4, 500 million Ugandan shillings. And of course, many of the Tier 4 institutions believe that it should, that is too much money for some of those, because these include the village savings and loan associations. Then as well, there is savings and credit cooperatives, that is in Tier 2. But for the Tier 4, we have microfinance institutions and deposit-taking institutions, rather, that are supposed to have a 500 million capital base if you are to run one or if you are to get a license from the Uganda Microfinance Regulatory Authority. And of course, with the Tier 4, you are allowed to mobilize deposits from the public. You can provide a wide range of financial services, including loans, savings, and money transfer services at the end of it all. But when it comes to the institutions that are supposed to give you loans, you're supposed to go to one institution that has a license from the Uganda Microfinance Regulatory Authority. And when it comes to the commercial banks, the license has to be from the Bank of Uganda, because it is the overall regulator of financial institutions in the country. And when it comes to microfinance institutions, Uganda Microfinance Regulatory Authority, or UMRA, is responsible for that. Robert, as we're summing up, what should we do? What are the safety measures we can employ? One, from the side of us, the account holders in the mobile money business or even the banking institutions. And then on the side of the regulators, what should they do? And then the banks themselves that have online banking apps, what can they do to prevent cybercrime from rising in the country?
First and foremost, it begins with you. Issues of security, it is your property you're protecting, it's yourself you're protecting. It begins with you. Don't just disclose your PIN, your password to everybody. It's supposed to be very, very private. If you're having a good marriage or relationship, maybe your wife should, because maybe at one time these things may matter to her. Maybe when you're not there. That is only if you trust her. But also how things have gone and are happening, the stories that are coming in here and there, people are soon killing each other because of insurance policies here in Uganda. Now, that should also not be something you should be doing. So keep it to yourself. That PIN, that password, keep it to yourself. 2, the get rich and easy things syndrome. Desist from it. 3, don't rush to respond. At least make a few consultations. When someone says, consult, speak with others. If someone says, don't let anyone know, this is no. Then to the regulators, we need to up our game. 1, we must be proactive. Now we are carrying on surgical operations, but we must be more proactive. Know that there is a fraudster, there is a young man sitting and planning. Now, we must up the game to move with the modern trends, because these keep changing, but also we must be proactive on the lookout to know how best do we ensure that before crime happens, we have put stop gaps, and these are the stop gaps we've put. If we do that, then I believe, to some level, and also empower our investigation machinery so that they can do so much, either if they need the technology, a good forensic lab, whatever is needed, let it be availed so that people get to know that it's not all about a walk in the park, that you can go online, play all these circus, then you go home and sleep, well knowing tracking you, getting you will be a hard thing. And lastly, do not give up hope to pursue these people. When you have already lost, tomorrow they are going to do it to someone else. And then you'll be speaking, it happened to me, now it has happened to you, very unfortunate.
Oh, it is indeed very unfortunate. And as we're summing up with our conversation this morning, please do note that for the many Ugandans who continue to apply for loans using the various online platforms, please do note that many of these particular online platforms do not have a physical location and do not have a license, meaning you are definitely going to be falling prey. And also, a national ID is not collateral. And most of these particular online apps ask for your national IDs or the national identification numbers every time you are applying for a loan. So be safe, take care of yourself as you are making these transactions, because with cybersecurity, you have to make sure that your PIN is your personal secret, or it should be your personal PIN where you cannot share with anyone. And I've seen quite a number of telecommunications companies sending in messages reminding Ugandans or reminding us to always check on our PINs, to also check and see whether we can change the PIN so that we keep up to speed with the different online fraudsters out there. That has been our conversation today, looking at the rising cases of online fraud in Uganda, and also looking at how to mitigate these particular cases as well, and also the possible threats there are in regards to the same. I've been with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono, and we shall be back tomorrow with Olive Monica Najuma and Ruben Pima Chibirango for Good Morning Uganda, right from 6:30 a.m. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is